He'll be coming around the mountains when he comes. He'll be coming around the mountain when he comes. He'll be coming around the mountain. Hey, I see ya. Too fast for you? My jump. Ooh-ah! Didn't quite land that one right. Welcome back, everyone, to our little tutorial on making a, well, basically a little car racing game. So I've gone ahead, we've upgraded to Unity 5. We got a few things going wrong with our car, and the networking wasn't quite working right as well. Well, today we're actually sit down, fix the car, and well, after a few hours of live streaming yesterday, I'd like to say that this is running pretty stable, at least with our car. And we had several people online playing at the same time as well. So let's go ahead and we'll start off by looking at the car. What exactly did I do different? With the new Physx in Unity 5, basically Physx 3.3, certain things are different. One of the main things is you only have 20 wheel colliders attached to any one rigid body. So if you're designing cars that have a lot of rigid or a lot of wheels, that's something you might have to look into. We've come down to the prefab. I've gone ahead and actually just created a whole new prefab cars. I'm just going to go ahead and drop it in. We'll zoom in on this bad boy, and we're going to look at the hierarchy. Now, I could just rebuild it, but I already have it built. We've already gone through the building process. So let me go ahead and show you the new hierarchy of how we have the car built. And you can just pause the video along the way, and I'll just do it like I did. So first off, I create an empty, and I've called it cars just to differentiate it from the old one. And don't worry about its position. That's just where I threw it in the scene. So we're going to go ahead. It has a rigid body. And these values, of course, you're just going to season to taste, basically. I started off with 1,000 mass. I like to have a little bit of drag, because I like my car to slow down if you're not pressing on the gas just naturally. Some people don't. The less drag you have, the faster your car is going to move. Anyway, like before, we've turned the gravity off. We are going to have that turned back on in our script. We'll go through the scripts in a bit too. But for now, you should just be able to pause, go through this. I've attached the motor script. I've assigned our center of mass. Our engine power, I've set mine to 1,000. We have our wheels. We have our turn power. Our network script. I got a few things here made public. We're actually going to hide some of these. We don't need to see this stuff. The position and rotation. So I'm actually going to hide those. The actual script itself, we have the camera, which we want to know in our hierarchy. And of course, our photon view, which is going to be monitoring our network player script right here that we have attached to the car. And that's it for the first empty. Now, underneath there, we go ahead and we create 3 more empties. One that's going to contain all the meshes that we use for our car. Another for the colliders that we're going to be having attached to our car. And another one for all of the wheel colliders that we're going to be putting on of our car. And everything else outside of that, I have the camera, which again is disabled by default because we'll enable it for only the local player. And of course, the center mass is just to help us if we do tip over, helps correct us. And it also helps on the jumps to give you that nice little arc. So to basically to stop you from taking a nosedive off of every single jump. So let's go ahead, we'll just jump into the mesh. You can see as I highlighted, it's just the body. We'll move this up here just so they're together. Continue. What? Did not want it. Want the body first. The window, which is just the top part. I've gone ahead and changed some of the shaders on there since we're using Unity 5. Quick peek here. I'm just using the transparent shader. I've gone ahead and just made it transparent, slight blue. Since we're going to be using real models later on, this doesn't really matter. And of course, I actually have the tires under here. Now, this is one of the big differences I find with using the Physx in Unity 5 is I usually have these childed to my wheel collider, but for some reason, they're just not acting right under there. So I've gone ahead and moved everything that has a mesh under a mesh. Well, basically the empty we use, the created empty that we use named mesh. Under colliders, we'll go ahead and just select it. I've gone ahead and created 2 colliders. The important one is the bottom one. You want to encompass the, basically think of it as the bumper of your car. So you got the front, you got the back, And you generally want it out enough to cover your tires as well. I probably should move my tires in a bit more just to be inside of that. And this front one is just to kind of help a little bit because I didn't want to put another collider up here. I could, but this also helps too if another car is coming at me and it's accelerating really quick. And if I slam my brakes on, my front end, because of the physics, will dip down. Well, if he's accelerating fast, his front end's going to lift up. So he can actually get launched right over me. It's kind of cool. You can go ahead and play around with the shape of colliders on your car as you want. You can even, I guess, pull this back a little bit more and dip this down. One thing to note with the bottom collider, I did have to raise mine a bit, at least with this model, for when I do the jumps, because it was too low. And because of the way I have my suspension set up on my car, it was hitting the ground quite often on a lot of my jumps. And it causes kind of like an abrupt stop because you're just gliders hitting the ground and you're just like, bam, stop. So I've gone ahead and just raised up just a tad, and that seems to be just enough of a clearance. I might lower it again so I can encompass the bottom of my car. It really doesn't matter. These are only placeholder models, but you want the feel to be way more important than the actual where the colliders are on the car. But anyway, so we have the bottom collider, front collider. I just went ahead and made box colliders, moved them around, and then just turned off the mesh render for them. You don't need to see them. And then our wheel colliders. Now, this again was just an empty that I created. I went through 2 sway bars on it. The first one, as you can see here, is for my front wheels, which of course this time I included both of them, the front left and the front right. And the rigid body, basically what rigid body is, attached to our car. And of course we have that on the car's parent object up here. You just drag it in, you drag in your front wheel and your other front wheel, and of course you do the back one. If you've got multiple sets of tires, just add multiple sway bar scripts to it. And then of course our actual wheel colliders themselves along with the wheel script. Now you're going to want to go ahead and actually drag the tire in here. But because of the way we had the script set up is we'll take a look at it. It's going to take a look to see if there's something assigned to tire. If not, then it's just going to grab its child. Well, since it's no longer a child of the actual wheel collider, it can't find it. Now, of course, we could just change the script around a bit to say, hey, go up here to meshes and look for the tires there. I don't want to. Now I'm just going to assign them. So we're going to be doing a little bit of adjusting of that script. So just come up under meshes, grab the proper tire, and just drag it into each wheel collider. Each wheel collider, I've gone ahead and used the exact same values for as far as the actual wheel collider values go. And of course, wheel script, just assign a different tire to it. There, I've got all these correctly. Yeah, it looks that way. I'll go ahead, there you go, take some images. I'll go ahead and leave a screenshot on the website as well. And Unity has a document. I'll try to find the link to again, and if I find it, I'll throw it up on the website, talking about creating vehicles for Unity 5. And that's it. Of course, we have the camera and the center of mass. Just empty game object. We just need something that we're going to move around to depict where we want the center of mass to be. And like I said, the lower you put it, the less likely you are to overturn. It gives a less realistic physics feel. It really should be up a little higher, but the game has to be fun. I don't care how, well, it depends too. I guess if you're trying to make a super realistic car simulator, yeah, you're going to want to move that up. I just want my game to be fun. I don't care how realistic it is. Fun first. So I got mine moved down so you can do better jumps. So that's it for that. We'll go ahead and let's go ahead. We'll jump into the scripts. Okay, so I have made a few changes to the scripts, and I did this all in the live stream. So, well, actually, I think somebody might have done before the live stream. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through each script individually, and I'll go ahead and post them on the website as well for this lesson in the course. And I did make some notes, so we'll go ahead and look at those. So we'll come up here. Again, just pause. Just see, or go check the website. Wake. Start. We'll open this up. And this, the center of mass. Make sure it's local position. Right here, the fixed update. Things changed. There is one thing we're going to be changing here later. And if we take a look here, I accidentally screwed it up with the index. I went 0, 1, 3, 4. It should be 2, 3. If you are doing rear-wheel drive and you try to do it this way, you're going to get an index out of range because it's supposed to be 2, 3. We're actually just going to go ahead and put this into a list. I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place. But yeah, we should have just done it as a list. And the exact same thing down here. But right now, I just want to get everyone caught up to what I have so far. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. But keep that in mind. It will be switched over to a list. And then down here for the steering as well. Well, we'll save that off. Not much change there. And we're going to go ahead and look at the wheel script. All right, so the wheel script. Right up here, we have the constant string where we're looking for the tire name. We can go ahead and get rid of that. I've gone ahead and made them serializable fields so they can still stay private, but I can access them in the actual inspector. I'm trying to think about this. I don't need to access the wheel collider anymore. Whoops, I do still need the wheel collider. I don't need it to be a serializable field. I don't need to see it in the inspector. It's a component on here. And because we have the required component part on there, it's automatically going to add that for us. So that should always be there. And of course, the transform for the tire, I left it private. Nothing ever needs to access it outside of this script that I can think of right now anyway. So I want to leave it private, but we do want to be able to assign it in the inspector. That's why I've gone ahead and made it a serializable field. So we come down to the wake, it goes ahead, it grabs its wheel collider. Then down here where we said if the tire equals null, go find it. We want to get rid of this. We'll just get an error saying that it's not there when we tried to actually play around with the tire. And we'll come down here. Motor. Of course, turning. And I did forget to point out one thing in the motor script. And right here, I was having a bit of trouble when torque was equal to 0. Basically, we weren't pushing forward or backwards. The car would kind of, like, for some reason, passing 0 into the torque on the wheel script here. It's causing it to be a little more jittery than it should have been. So I've gone ahead and just said, hey, if I'm not pushing forward or backwards, if I'm not applying force in either direction, don't even bother calling those methods on the wheel. And for now, it seems to have cleaned it up for me, so great. So that's done. We'll go ahead and we'll head into the network manager next. And of course, I'm currently on a different version. As you make changes and you're updating it and handing it out to people, make sure you actually do update those values. Right here, we have a default set. And if we go look in our actual game, well, let's finish the script first. We've got our default room name as being VVR. Player prefab name, I've gone ahead and made a new one, but I've just assigned it in the inspector. And we'll look at that in just a sec. Go ahead, look at the start. Nothing's changed there. And join lobby. I didn't change anything. That's all the same. So let's quickly look at the manager in Unity. And here we go, right up here. I've just gone ahead, since I have a new prefab, cars, and I just dragged it up there. Oh, sorry, it takes a string. You just type the name in. And one of the cool things is I noticed that if you use lowercase, go ahead, get rid of this one. If you do use lowercase, it still works. I'd recommend using uppercase. But I would recommend using uppercase anyway because, well, just the anal retentiveness in me says, hey, you spelt it this way. Be sure you use the uppercase, right? But anyway, I just thought it was kind of cool. Something I wanted to point out that if you use lowercase, it does seem to work. My OCD is not going to let me stay with it. There we go. Let's go. We'll jump in and look at the player script. Okay, so the network player script, again, there are some changes, and I've tried to highlight all of them here with the asterisks. I might have missed them all, but I am going to be posting the scripts online, so sorry about that, but it took me a little bit to kind of figure out exactly what was going on in Unity 5 as far as the car, and it turned out to be mostly the hierarchy. Anyway, so we come down here, just to make things easier for me when I'm playing, since we were playing on the live stream, there was me and several other people playing at the same time, I wanted to be able to pick my car out in the hierarchy. I've got ahead now, and when I play, my car in the hierarchy in Unity will be called me, my game object, whereas everyone else is going to be called network player. Now later on, we can actually switch this over, so when they're playing in the lobby, they can pick a name, and then we can just actually set their name in the hierarchy as well. That only really matters if you're playing in the Unity editor and everyone else is playing on an actual built client. Outside of that, it's really just for debugging. It just helps out a little bit. Talked about that. We'll get rid of that. Turn our camera on, turning the motor, turning the gravity back on. Here I've changed around. I've gone ahead and I turned the sway bars we hadn't gotten to before, but now I'm turning them off. This for the network player, we go ahead and turn them off by default. We'll go ahead with make it back on. The sway bars by default, as you can see, are turned off. So we want to turn them on for our local player. That's all I'm doing is I'm going ahead and saying, hey, go get me all the sway bars that are in my child components. And it's going to get them both. It's going to come back with an array for me. And I'm just going to iterate through and just turn them back on. Then I say, okay, now go ahead and grab all the wheel colliders that we have, iterate through them, and turn all of those on. Go ahead and look Unity at our wheel colliders. They're all turned off as well. Now, at some point, I'm going to want to do something this because with them turned off, we can't see the players or our network players' wheels turn side to side. And that's something I do want to see, but it's not something that's game breaking right now. Like I'm really not going to worry about it too much until we actually get to the point where we're starting to actually use different models for our network players. So for now, just keep that in mind that if you're driving around and you don't see your network players' tires move and you used to, that's because we're actually turning these off. I'll go ahead and take out these. I've mentioned it. Of all the spotty green. And we talked about this here. I'm just setting this up so that, like I said, we know just by looking in the inspector that, hey, this is a network player. We don't know which one, but we know that it's not me. It just helps me pick it out of the inspector quick. So we'll come down to on photon serialized view. I don't think anything's changed here. Pretty sure I haven't touched anything, but again, just check your code just to make sure. And then the state machine we're building. I've played around a bit with this, but it should be the exact same way that you have it right now. We're just going to go ahead, grab the position, and we're going to lerp. There's a few other ways we can do it besides lerping. And I've played around with a few of them, and I like lerping the best. I know lerping isn't the best way to do it, but it's very simple. It's one line of code. We might look into other ones a little bit later on as we get into more advanced topics. But for, I bet 80% of the games out there, just doing a lerp is going to work. And of course, you can just lerp everything. And of course, since we are returning an enumerator, we got to make sure that we are going to return something in the yield. So we're going to return null. Let's jump back into Unity. I don't think I actually have any other scripts here that we have to go through. Sway bars, I did not touch. The exact same as it was on the website. We looked at motor, we looked at wheel, and we looked at both network scripts. So there you go. You should have your car up and running, and it should be behaving just like mine. Again, I'll post a screenshot of my wheel collider, and all the scripts will be on the website as well. This. And I don't know, we had some pretty good fun on the live stream, so hopefully you guys are actually enjoying your car as well. And next up, we're going to start creating what I like to call arenas. Now, I've already gone ahead and created a folder for it, and we got my demo arena, which is just this one here, which is just the train. Basically, I threw my light in there as well. Spawn point, you know, it's basically something that you can instantiate. So you can have think of it as tracks, basically. This is just a quick one I threw in. I did discover a few bugs with the train engine in Unity, at least in the 5th version. When I go ahead and start doing other tutorials on the train engine here, I gotta see if they still exist, and if so, I'll show you the workaround that we had to do in order to get out of it. Basically, save the scene, just shut down Unity, and restart it. But we'll go over those as we come into them. Anyway, that's it for this one. Let me know down below if you have any questions, and if you've got your car, maybe a web player build of your car up and running, go ahead and post a link down below. I think other people might like to see what other people are running. And I'll try to go ahead and get mine up on the website, at least this version here. And I'll just keep updating it as I go along. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.